Hello, this is Stellarum again. We're back to complete our mission to fly by the Mun. So if we go into the tracking station here, you can see we're on a nice orbit that's going to be taking us out past the Mun right now. And if we select our spacecraft, you can actually see there's going to be an encounter in about 3 hours. So let's go fly our spacecraft here. We've still got plenty of Delta V. Let's bring up our Kerbal engineer here. We've still got 1.6 kilometers a second of Delta V. So that's more than enough to do the maneuvers that we plan. And I've actually set up another maneuver here. So let's focus in here. I've set up, as we approach periapsis of our Munner approach, I've set up a little bit of a prograde burn. So what this is going to do is it lets us bring our orbit a little bit tighter into the Mun, and it comes around a little bit tighter like so, or a little bit wider. And that basically lets us, as you can see, if we just let it do what it's going to do, or just fly the way that it's going to fly, it's going to be in a very similar orbit to what we have, but it's going to narrow it down a little bit, and we're actually going to end up crashing right into Kerbal. So by giving it a little bit of prograde right as we hit periapsis with the Munner encounter, it gives us just that little bit of extra bit of gas, and we're able to bring our Kerbal periapsis just a little bit outside of the atmosphere. And I think with that we're going to be alright. We're going to add another maneuver node out here somewhere once we come around the Mun like that, and we'll be able to adjust this so that it comes down to, say, 35 to 30 kilometers, just so that we're in the atmosphere more than enough, and we'll be able to kind of hit the atmosphere and slow right down and make a nice controlled descent. So let's get to it. Let's backspace to here. We're basically on a free fly until we hit the Mun encounter. So we've got 3 hours of not doing much. Well, since we're not doing much, we might as well fast forward it. So let's go ahead and let's watch Kerbal pass by. Behind the sun, we might actually see the sunset here, which isn't too bad. So we'll go behind Kerbal. Nice little sunset here as we're getting farther and farther away from our home. There's the sun. It goes behind Kerbal. So we're up around, what is that? 3,000 kilometers away. It switched to kilometers. We're getting really far. So we've still got quite a ways to go. I'm going to speed this up just a little bit more. We don't really have to do much until we get near our Mun encounter, which is probably happening very, very soon here. We're getting very, very close. I think we've actually gone just about to go through the Mun encounter in 40 seconds. So this is exciting. This is our first Mun encounter, and you can see our orbit here loops right around the Mun and comes back, and you see that little maneuver we do? It changes us from going this way back around Kerbal to coming back this way. Although I guess we could just follow this, and we could burn retrograde a little bit actually. You know what, let's try that. If we burn retrograde just like so, it'll loop us right around. Oh, I think we hit our Mun encounter. doesn't show. Oops. I think I did the wrong one. Okay. Let's delete that. Focus view. We've probably got a whole bunch of science to do here. So you might as well take all this. We're still an hour away from periapsis. Take a crew report. Let's wait on the material study. We can wait for that material or mystery goo as well. We'll take the temperature scan. And then I'm going to jump out and do an EVA as soon as I get this maneuver set up. Okay, so what do we want to do here? We want to burn retro. What kind of a burn are we looking at? 70 kilometers. So you can see ever so slightly, just small little changes here will make a big difference. Oh, we don't want to delete that. Let's see. We're giving ourselves a little bit of an angle here. Although I don't think we could do much about that right now. That spot. Maybe we can... Oh, I could do a little bit. That's pretty good. For 57 delta V. That's not bad. And we're getting a periapsis of 20 kilometers a second. Just a little bit more. Retro. 25. 43. That's good. You know what? For 60 meters a second of delta V, I'm fine with having it just a little bit above where we're going to be at. So that's our Mun encounter. What's our periapsis going to be? 14 kilometers. Perfect. So let's go back here. Let's do a quick EVA, gather a bunch of this science. Just like so. In here, let's take the crew report out. And we want to take the temperature reading. I have 4 thermometers there. I probably didn't need that many, but that's alright. Take the data from the barometer. It's spinning a little bit, so I definitely don't want to let go. Let's just board, hit the SAS, and we're good. So we're good. Let's back off here a little bit. Look at the Mun. So let's find our maneuver node. Not a number. Can't tell us how long to burn for, but that's alright. We've still got a ways before we gotta do our burn. I think we're going to be flying around the dark side of the Mun when we do the burn, but that's alright. We can do a bunch of the material study, EVA, all that sort of good stuff. We don't have to worry about collecting the data. We'll be able to collect the data after. but for right now, we'll be fine. So let's see. I think we can speed up here. Still saying mystery goo materials, but we're going to do that kind of right before our periapsis. So our periapsis is only 14 kilometers up. That's going to be in the close space of the Mun. So what I'm going to do is speed up right into the Mun. We can watch this come in here. And when this gets down, we're probably going to want to do this burn maybe 10 seconds before periapsis, or before the node. That should be good enough, and then we'll be able to do a corrective burn after to make sure that we're entering the atmosphere in the right spot. So let's speed up just a little bit. We'll slow down as we get there. You can see the Mun coming in. It's nicely cratered. So that's kind of cool. Still 25 minutes. Let's make sure we're staying on target here, looking at what's going on. Our maneuver node is, look at that, that is really cool. I like that. Look at that big crater there too, and all the little ones are kind of sprinkled in there. So you know that big one was like an old crater. There's even some canyons there. So maybe it melted the terrain or something, like it impacted here and it melted all this terrain, and it caused some canyons to form from like lava flowing through there. You can really see like a lot of history there. So that's kind of cool. I like that. That's the kind of stuff I like. So that's pretty cool. I like that. So we're still on target here. Just make sure we're steady, right on target. That's good like that. We've got 8 minutes to go. We can speed up a little bit more. Come right in. Like I said, we want to burn at about 10 seconds. And I'm just going to use shift again. We're not going to have to worry about using max thrust. We don't have a lot of thrust or a lot of delta V to give. So we'll be able to really not have to worry about that. We're about 100 kilometers up. We get a camera tilt. So the camera tilt is basically some kind of a numerical glitch when in the attitude and that sort of stuff. So we're actually going to slow down here. And let's go ahead and take all this science. 36 science just from atmospheric pressure scans. Let's take the temperature scan. That's another 24. Take our mystery goo. That's going to be a good chunk as well, 30. It seems to be less dense there. Interesting. The material study. 75 science. Now that is some good science. And let's take a quick EVA report. Like so, 24. We'll take the data and store it, and then board back again. And we're still 2 minutes away. So we'll be able to take another crew report. On space. Looks really beat up. That might be a repeat, but that's alright. So we're still 2 minutes away. Let's speed up again. So we're only 30 kilometers above the surface. We're a minute away from our node. So let's slow down. Let's take the last few seconds here. Let's take a quick look. You can really see like the canyon over there. I hope I don't hit anything. I think I made myself high enough. I think the highest mountains are like 6 kilometers or something like that. That would be kind of terrible if I smacked into a mountain here. But I don't think I could do anything about it now. So, oh well, let's just hope and pray I don't smack into something. But that's alright. It's a learning experience, right everybody? Okay, so we're 20 seconds away. We're still on the maneuver node. Let's go ahead and start this burn in just 2 seconds. 1, let's go. It's really not going to take much. I'm going to slow down just so that I can follow this maneuver node. 3, 1.9 meters a second. Oh, the SAS wasn't on. That's why it was so hard to burn. Perfect. 0.4 meters a second. I think that's good enough. 0.1. Yeah, that's good. Let's see what our maneuver gave us. Are we going to be in the atmosphere 50 kilometers up? Looking pretty good. Nice and steady. Nice and small inclination as well. Perfect. Now we can just enjoy the rest of this encounter with the Mun. So it's giving us an EVA report. Let's go ahead and take it. EVA report, another 24 science, above Mun's far east far side crater. Interesting. Let's take the data, store it, and then take another EVA report. I think it was the same one, but that's okay. Board anyways. Yeah, it was just telling me it was the same one. There might be some new EVA reports popping up as we go over different biomes. That's alright. We'll have more time to do this similar missions, landing on the Mun, that sort of thing again, sending satellites there, different things like that. So we'll be back for more experimentation around the Mun very soon, I'm sure. Let's see, we're around the backside. So if you look, we're around the backside from Kerbal, and we'll have Kerbal rise very, very soon. So you can see right about here. So if I set up a maneuver, I can see how far away that is. 2 minutes. Let's delete that. Go back here. And we're back into our spacecraft. We got about 2 minutes before we see that Kerbal rise again. So let's speed up just a little bit. Want to see that. Look over this way. We're gonna see it any second now. Another EVA report. Yeah, we got time. Let's jump out. EVA. Board. Perfect. Great. Okay. Let's keep going. Getting ever so close. Kerbal rise. Are you coming, Kerbal? So Valentina's looking longingly for home. And very, very soon, she's gonna see Kerbal rising above the horizon. Her home. Her blue planet in the sky. There it is. Rising out of the mist, almost. If there was any mist on the Mun. You could see the blue of the horizon. Oh, so poetic. We'll take an EVA here. Take another quick EVA. And then she's gonna look back, of course. Why would she not look back here? That's so beautiful. And then she'll board. Because we're scared. we don't want to get caught with this thing spinning and tumbling, and then she can't get back on there. And at 50 kilometers, she's going to be falling into the atmosphere too. And she might kind of skip out of the atmosphere, but she might not. So, and even then, she's only going to have so many orbits before she actually does skip out of the atmosphere. And that would be kind of terrible for her. So, but that's all right. So, we've done it. We've flown by the Mun. We can delete that. We got a whole bunch of science and money and reputation for that. So let's go ahead and go back to our map. Here, let's go and fast forward just a little bit up to here, and finish our encounter with the Mun. I think we've got all the science that we wanted. once we get back into orbit around Kerbal, we're going to want to, do a maneuver node just to get this periapsis down a little bit. But I think we're also going to want to do a quick EVA before, just so that we get as much of the science off of this vessel as possible before we jettison the remainder of our stage. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's fast forward a little bit. Whoops. Went right through the encounter there. Backspace like that. Okay. So we'll go back here. Why am I not getting any control? Electric charge, we're good. For some reason I'm not getting any control, so let me just pop back into the Space Center. I don't know what's going on there. We seem to have there was electric charge, there was everything. For some reason it wasn't letting us. We can see our Somnia 4, our flyby mission of the month. Zoom back in here. Okay, there was a little bit of a glitch there. For some reason it wasn't letting us control it. So let's turn this way. You can see our materials bay right here. So let's get Valentina to do an EVA. She's going to take the data. Store the data back there. We can do an EVA. I thought I'd done that, but maybe not. I don't know. I'll take it anyways, and we'll see. Let's grab this temperature data. I believe the rest of it we'd already... Yeah, I really only needed one. But that's alright. Take the data from the barometer. Open the service bay. You know what? I'm not sure I want to risk taking the... We're already starting to rotate a little bit here. I don't want to risk taking the data from inside, because I have to basically float around there. I can't actually click there and get the data. And if I start messing around with that, I'm just going to end up flipping this whole thing around, and I'll have more time to do that another time. Just like that. Board dump anyways, and we're all right. We can close that. I think we're okay. Okay. Let's turn SAS back on, and let's plan our maneuver. We want to get back in one piece, and we need to bring this down just ever so slightly. So let's set up a maneuver here. I think all we have to do is burn retro. Yeah, all we have to do is burn retro for just a tiny bit, and we'll be able to bring our periapsis down. We don't even need a maneuver node. So we can use the retrograde. We'll use our pilot, Valentina, as a pilot, and we can just burn retro ever so slightly, and we'll see this drop down. So I'll just do that very, very briefly here. We'll see that drop down just a little bit. And just like so. Now we're on our way back. 32 kilometers above the surface. We're going to be coming into the atmosphere very deeply into the thick atmosphere on the day side of Kerbin as well. So we had our nice flyby of the Mun, and now we can chill and come back. So let's set that there. We don't want to burn up all of our electric charge, though we did have plenty. I kind of went overboard with the amount of batteries, but I didn't want to worry about having to conserve the amount of electric charge I was using. But you could see if you use retrograde, you're going to start using it up much faster. Just because, maybe not so much here, but as you get closer in, it's going to want to kind of turn you back and forth. And like if you do this a little bit and maneuver, you can see I'm using my keys to move over a little bit, and it's taking much more of the charge. But we can leave it on stability for now, and we can come right back in. You know what? Let's go back in here. Valentina's looking at home, and we can go whoa, right in. That was much too fast. Okay, we're coming in. We're into the atmosphere already. Let's see. I want to go this way. Yes, like that. Okay, let's do retro. She'll lock on. We can do an EVA, but I don't think I want to do that. Let's go to surface mode. We can turn off our HUD. I don't think we need either one of those. And we can go ahead and jettison our spacecraft. We've got all the signs from that stage. It's going to go ahead and go into the so we're definitely into the atmosphere already. We're being stabilized by the atmospheric effects. We're at 3,000 meters a second, or 3 kilometers a second. So we're coming in very, very fast. But we're going to be burning off most of it before we get down too low. So we're coming in at just the right angle, and we'll be able to burn off a lot of this this velocity, this energy that we've got with us, and we'll be fine. So let's see. You know what? Let's turn Tina this way. Not so much. There we go. Perfect. Just enough to have her looking up at the stars. She can see the stars as we're coming into the atmosphere. I've turned SAS off. You want to let the aerodynamic effects really take control there. Let's try to turn that one. Not that one. F10. That's the one. Okay. So we're into 30 kilometers into the atmosphere. Pretty far in. We've slowed down maybe about 600 meters a second plus the altitude that we had. So we're doing pretty well, I think. I think we're going to be into sort of the 24 kilometers above until we start really slowing down, that we don't get heat effects and that sort of thing. So right now we're doing all right. I wouldn't worry too much about that. Let's see. Maybe we can fast forward just a little bit. We can see our speed is dropping quite dramatically. And we're coming in with a whole bunch of science. Valentina's had a good trip. It was a few days trip to the Mun and back. A day and a bit in 5 hours. Not so bad. Still at 31 kilometers. Taking a while to slow down, but we will eventually slow down. So we're down below 2,000 kilometers, or 2 kilometers a second, 2,000 meters a second. That means we've dropped below orbital velocity at this point. So if we're faster than, say, 2,600 kilometers and we start coming out of the atmosphere, we're basically skipping out of the atmosphere. But because we're under 1 or 2 kilometers a second, we know that we're going to be landing at this point. So now it's just a question of waiting. How long until we burn off all this extra speed? You can see there's still quite a bit of aerodynamic effects. So you want to take this sort of long, slow approach, because then you burn up, you end up using, you end up hitting the atmosphere, this really thick part of the atmosphere less, and you don't have as many G's, and you might have like your ship break up and that sort of thing. This is good enough though, so we can keep speeding up. We're going to come into, once we get around to 800 meters a second, I believe that's when you start seeing the I think those were the cameras. I forgot that did that. One of the cameras blew up, and for a second I thought it was my ship, but it wasn't. This other camera might. I don't think it does. But that's alright. No, I don't think it does. It's alright. So we're going to wait till we get down to 300 meters a second, and that's when we're going to deploy our parachute. Kind of a neat terrain over here. It's like a grasslands with some mountains over there, some hills. We're down to 300 meters a second. Let's deploy our chute. We're coming in for our final landing. So let's speed right up. Warp 4 times, physics warp. We come right in, and we'll land from our flyby of the Mun with our camera that got all kinds of nice pictures from the Munner encounter. And yeah, lots of great science, lots of fun. Here it comes. You can see the shadow too. Look at that. 5 meters a second, we're good. Slow down, and we see our landing. Perfect. We can even do a temperature scan. Look at that. 2.4 science. Where was that? I forgot. Anyways, so that's it. Valentina's happy to be home. So let's recover the vessel, and we'll see how much science we got. We got 366 science, 0.9, as well as the contract that we got. That is a heck of a lot of science. 240,000 space dollars back. And then we got Valentina Kerman earned 2 experience points. So she's got quite a bit of experience. She can pilot very, very well. She's very happy, as you can see. It's a new day now as well. Yeah, looks like it was a successful mission. So I'm going to take a look at the R&D and figure out how to spend all these extra science. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks, guys.